Donald Trump was freaking out at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning East Coast time, making posts like this. If the European Union works with Canada in order to do economic harm to the USA, large-scale tariffs, far larger than currently planned, will be placed on them, both in order to protect the best friend that each of those two countries has ever had, exclamation point. These posts at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. are literally the posts of like an actual abuser. Then he posts this in all caps: Liberation Day in America is coming soon. For years, we have been ripped off by virtually every country in the world, both friend and foe, but those days are over. America first. This as he's gutting people's Medicaid here and attacking Social Security and gutting people's 401ks and retirement savings. This is what he's posting at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning in his freak out panic. Then he posts this: NPR and PBS, two horrible and completely biased platforms, networks, I'm not sure why that's in parentheses with an exclamation point, should be defunded by Congress immediately. Republicans don't miss this opportunity to rid our country of this giant scam, in all caps, both being arms of the radical left Democrat Party. Just say no and make America great again, exclamation point. By the way, he kept on going. It was a frenzy of panic posts, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning. How about this post? How disgraceful is it that, quote, Judge James Boasberg has just been given a fourth, quote, Trump case, something which is statistically impossible. He's referring to the fact that the Washington, D.C. federal district court judge, the chief judge, the top judge, federal judge in Washington, D.C., who was originally appointed by George W. Bush, and then after that by former President Obama, that he was assigned a new federal case. And the assignments are all random regarding the use by Pete Hegseth and Mike Walls and all of the Trump kind of DOD, NSA, and DNI people on Signal, where they were having those war plan chats, and how that's a violation of the Public Records Act and other archival laws, and just how communications are supposed to take place and not supposed to take place. The judge got assigned that case, so Trump is freaking out there. He's highly conflicted, not only in his hatred of me, massive Trump derangement syndrome. I could go on, but you get the point. It's just a huge paragraph of capital letters, non-capital letters, whining, non sequiturs. And what Donald Trump wants to distract our attention from is the fact that his Department of Defense and National Security team were leaking war plans on Signal chats with the reporter. Donald Trump is most comfortable attacking judges, attacking entities, attacking deep state, and he doesn't want us to focus on his broken promises, that prices are not going down, that his tariffs have crippled our economy. The latest economic reports show that the United States is heading into not just a recession, but potentially a deep recession, and even worse, American consumers are the least confident about the economy in generations at this point. And it looks like he's intentionally, or at least recklessly, catapulting the United States into a deep recession or depression. Donald Trump is also seething right now because of this meeting of the coalition of the willing of democracies in Europe right now in France. French President Emmanuel Macron has called all these nations, whether it's Canada and Australia, European nations, and others, to show support for Ukraine. The United States is now isolated and kind of an island in and of itself at this point, as the U.S. wants to like suck up to the access of evil and under Donald Trump's regime and join with Putin and Kim Jong-un. And here we see Emmanuel Macron post, building a robust peace for Ukraine and Europe. Emmanuel Macron, Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, and others, Prime Minister Carney of Canada. I think they've done a great job here, kind of rallying together and showing real strength and force and standing up to Russia. I didn't think Putin saw that aspect coming. I think they thought that the Europeans and Canadians would fold to Donald Trump, but it's been the opposite, and Trump's shown pathetic weakness. Macron said Europe must be prepared in case America is not with us, even if that means we have to act alone. Also, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says within a free trade agreement, by the way, one that Donald Trump negotiated, there should not be tariffs at all. Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump negotiated the USMCA and now he says, what stupid people did that deal? Meanwhile, the conservative premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, showing unity with the Liberal Party leader and the Prime Minister, Mark Carney, saying that we're going to inflict pain on the United States. Play this clip.
$65 billion of tariffs that we have on the table that we can launch towards the U.S. We have to run through every tariff and minimize the pain for Canadians, maximize the pain for Americans. And I feel terrible for the Americans, but it's one person, it's President Trump, that's creating this chaos.
And this is coming from Doug Ford, who was once Maple MAGA. He was once a big Trump supporter, this guy. And he's saying Trump is at it again. His 25% tariffs on cars and light trucks will do nothing more than increase the cost for hardworking American families. U.S. markets are already on the decline as the president causes more chaos and uncertainty. He's putting American jobs at risk. I've spoken with Prime Minister Carney. We agree Canada needs to stand firm, strong, and united. I fully support the federal government preparing retaliatory tariffs to show that we will never back down.
Have you heard about the crime that the FBI calls house stealing? Well, it's a growing real estate scam targeting American homeowners and their equity. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on one document. They use a fake notary stamp, pay a small fee, and file with your county. And just like that, your home title has been transferred out of your name. Then they take out loans using your equity or even sell your property. And you won't even know it's happened until you start getting collection or foreclosure notices. So let me ask you, when was the last time you checked your home title? Now, if you're like me, the answer is never. And that's exactly what scammers are counting on. That's why you need to stop what you're doing and find out today if you're already a victim. Just use my promo code Meidas at HomeTitleLock.com and you'll get a free title history report to find out if your title is still in your name. When you sign up, you'll receive 14 days of free $1 million triple lock protection. That's immediate 24/7 monitoring of your property's title, urgent alerts if there are ever any changes, and if fraud should happen, their US-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix the fraud and restore your title at no additional cost. Get peace of mind now at HomeTitleLock.com, promo code Meidas, or click the link in the description. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code Meidas.
Speaking about not backing down, the people of Greenland stood up to the Trump regime, and now J.D. Vance, Usha Vance, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz have canceled their aggressive trip to Greenland. They were going to go in there as a show of force. They were literally knocking on the doors of Greenlanders over the past few days, trying to get anybody to welcome them to Greenland for a photo op. Nobody wanted them there. There were going to be massive rallies against their presence there. As you see from some of the latest polling data, 85 to 90% of Greenlanders want nothing to do with the United States at all. And now Vance and the Trump regime has canceled their trip. They knew it was going to be absolutely humiliating as Donald Trump continues to talk about annexation. The conservative member of parliament in Denmark, Greenland's part of the territory, is a territory of the Kingdom of Denmark, Rasmus Jarlov, says the following: American organizers went knocking on doors in the capital of Greenland to try and find a family that would invite Mrs. Usha Vance in when they arrived. It failed. Every single person said no. Instead, a large demonstration against the American threats of taking over Greenland were planned. Realizing it would be a public relations disaster, the Americans finally canceled the visit. Please let it go. The people of Greenland do not want to be American, and they cannot be bought, bribed, or persuaded. They have done nothing to deserve this aggression. Neither has Denmark. International borders must be respected. And here, Orla Jolson, who's been doing a great job on the ground in Greenland, posting the happening, says the U.S. government vehicles which had been transported to Nuuk, the capital of Greenland, Sunday for use to J.D. Vance's wife, are now leaving Nuuk. There you see it right there. Greenland visit canceled after locals refused to welcome Usha, Vance, and also Denmark went absolutely nuclear on J.D. Vance and the United States over this visit and said, "How dare you? We do not support this. You're showing aggression to us. Get out of here." And meanwhile, you have Donald Trump's Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, going to El Salvador, where she made a video, like a selfie-ish video, in front of one of the prison cells there at their concentration camp. Here's what Kristi Noem said in El Salvador. Here, play this clip.
I also want everybody to know, if you come to our country illegally, this is one of the consequences you could face. First of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted. But know that this facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use.
Now, this follows one of the things that we've been learning, of course, about how, and this was a report by Mother Jones, you're here because of your tattoos, how a lot of these migrants who were sent to the concentration camps in El Salvador were in the United States lawfully. They were lawful asylum seekers. Some had tattoos like autism awareness. Others had tattoos of like butterflies. There was a gay hairstylist and makeup artist. These individuals are not Tren de Aragua gang members. I mean, you go see these stories of Neri Alvarado working in Dallas as a baker, has a autism awareness tattoo. An ICE agent tells Neri Alvarado, "We're finding and questioning anyone who has a tattoo. You have a tattoo. We think you're Tren de Aragua. Concentration camp in El Salvador. See you there." Another man who was sent to the concentration camps in El Salvador is Arturo Suarez, Venezuelan musician, entered U.S. at the port of entry, not illegally, not unlawfully, no criminal records. He has some tattoos, sent to concentration camps. His family was able to recognize him in the video where they were brutalizing the prisoners in the concentration camp. You can see the arrow right there. That's how the family identified him. And there was Andres, the gay hairstylist as well, who was sent. Women were sent to the concentration camps. The concentration camps only take male prisoners. Horrific stuff being carried out at the direction of the United States. Also, one of the things we're learning about now is a new proposed mineral deal that the United States has sent to Ukraine. Under this deal, the United States would basically steal all of the minerals from Ukraine, provide zero security guarantees, and it would just be a total conquest, basically, of Ukraine. As I've said from the outset, with the Trump regime's plan, when they were talking about a deal, it was very obvious to me what the deal was. They wanted to give Putin half of Ukraine, and then the Trump regime wanted to take the other half, steal the minerals, in my opinion, put it in a sovereign wealth fund under Trump's control, and then build out all of the things that Trump wants to put his name on, and then rule as a dictator using Ukraine's rare earth minerals as his sovereign wealth fund money. That was always my suspicion of what he was trying to do there. I think that's borne out. But Zelensky in Europe right now, in France, with the coalition of the willing, standing shoulder to shoulder as the U.S. imposes its tariffs on everyone and behaves like a total, utter maniac of a nation under the Trump regime. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.meidastouch.com. All 100% USA union made.